What's up, guys? I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. There's been a lot of news coming in on Ripple XRP and the XRP community, which I'd like us to cover today. We have been making progress with the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. Although slow, we are making steps in the right direction. Over the weekend, we saw some quite exciting threads on Twitter that have shed some light on some of the cases that Judge Netburn has settled in the past. We're getting into that in a few, but first, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome back to Moneyside, your favorite crypto news channel. If you are new here, we welcome you to the XRP fam. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our daily crypto news updates. Back to today's topic, we'll be kicking it off with this tweet from Leerzite, a famous crypto enthusiast whose ideas we share here quite often. He put up this tweet that said, "Discovered that Judge Netburn has posted a settlement information sheet on settlements for own cases. XRP. Key points. All hearings are strictly confidential. Any communication is not to be shared with the outside world." He shares a picture with lots of information down below. He goes on to say, "Negotiations have no bearing on the ongoing case. Deadlines must be strictly adhered to. Judge Netburn acts as a mediator, trying to bring the parties closer together. This is pretty much in line with the impression I have gotten from her rulings so far." Leerzite, a confidential letter must be sent to the court 1 week before a settlement is to be confirmed by the court. At the settlement conference, all parties involved must be present in person. Leerzite winds everything up by saying, yes, the document is from 2017. Netburn has been a judge for longer. Nevertheless, it's interesting to be able to read how settlement negotiations work for her and what can be observed from the outside or not. We are picking up some interesting points from this tweet, and the one thing that we can tell for sure is that there might be many confidential meetings happening behind the scenes. That means there is not a lot that we can see from the outside. In fact, just below Leerzite's tweet, we can see Anatomai, who shares a tweet by David Schwartz, which says, "Today was a good day," from May 15th. And we all can't help but imagine, could this have been after one of those confidential meetings with Ripple and the SEC? Probably. Hey, why don't you share what you think in the comments section below? Moving further ahead, we can see another tweet from Leerzite that says, "Because somehow it's hardly ever addressed, it wouldn't be the first time that the SEC drops a lawsuit." #XRP. He shares this picture from his Google search that shows a list of other cases that the SEC has dropped in the past. We could quickly go over a couple of them. The first one is the SEC drops lawsuit against the executive in financial. SEC drops lawsuit against ex-Thornburg Mortgage CEO. The SEC drops lawsuit against BMA in scalping case. As you can see from this image, the SEC has dropped cases quite a few times. What we are getting from this is that there could be a possibility that the SEC could opt to drop the lawsuit, especially if they know they can't win. We could be waiting for a settlement and then boom, headlines, "SEC drops lawsuit against Ripple Labs." What are the odds here? There are many different theories on how this whole thing could turn out. How do you think this case will be concluded? Now we have some news from @GoldTelegraph. A group of 15 members of the Economic Community of West African States has adopted a new plan to introduce a single currency. According to the Ivorian president of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibrou. If this doesn't say it, I don't know what will. Clearly, we are headed for the digital age and more leaders are coming on board with this concept. Besides that, we can see that JED will soon not be a factor anymore in the XRP community and price, as we can see from a tweet by X Anderson. Only 6 million XRP per day being sold by JED this week. But the good news is that he only has 1.0976 billion XRP left. With having only about 1% of the total supply, he shouldn't be a real factor anymore. As we all know, Jed McCaleb has been selling his XRPs throughout the year. We are now on a countdown, and in just a few months, I think he will have sold all his XRPs. ECB tweeted, "A digital euro would be a powerful push for digitalization, offering a safe, costless means of payment and allowing intermediaries to provide services with digital euro inside," says executive board member Fabio Panetta to the Financial Times. Panetta, "Central banks are better placed to protect privacy in digital payments. We have no commercial interest in user data, and we could ensure that nobody in the payment chain has access to all the information. For small amounts, we could allow anonymous payments. Panetta. The experimentation done so far gives us a preliminary sense of the pros and cons of different technologies. If the Governing Council gives us the green light in July, we will start a formal investigation phase focusing on the design of a digital euro. The events are unfolding just like we've talked about here. The whole world will soon be connected once these digital coins start dropping. And I hope you remember this. Any CBDC or digital euro will be transacted through the XRP ledger. It's incredible to see how the adoption of the XRP ledger is coming along, as soon as XRP is the heart of the new financial era. @Ripple also put up a tweet where they are sharing the following. We're committed to reducing the climate impact of global finance with our blockchain and sustainability solutions. Learn about our efforts to achieve a clean and low-carbon future. Again, Ripple is pulling out some grand narratives that are going to change our future. Zero Hedge shared this post from zerohedge.com with the headlines, "The market could get cut in half. Charles Nenner warns of geopolitical chaos like before Pearl Harbor." If we quickly look at that article, it says renowned geopolitical and financial cycle expert Charles Nenner made a huge call at the end of January 2020. Nenner said, "I am more worried about the market going down 40% than making 5% more on the upside. It seems very, very unusual to break a trend line that dates back for 100 years, so the risk is very high. We are totally out of the market. We have been out for 3 or 4 weeks. We have the same thing as before. People are more afraid to miss 4% on the upside than 50% on the downside. That's human nature. How low can the market go from here?" Nenner says, 20,000 or lower is my call. I asked Nenner, "You think the market could get cut in half?" Nenner replied, "Yes. The collapse in the crypto market seems to be imminent. The only question is, are you guys prepared?" Besides that, we are seeing narratives that are slowly going to kill Bitcoin. From Michelle Schlen 6, "Bitcoin has got to go." She shares this article from globaltimes.cn that says over 90% of China's Bitcoin mining to be closed after the Sichuan ban. Looking over at the article, we can see the following. Many Bitcoin mines in southwest China's Sichuan province, one of China's largest cryptocurrency mining bases, were closed as of Sunday after local authorities ordered a halt to the mining in the region on Friday amid an intensified nationwide crackdown against cryptocurrency mining. With this ban in place, it could mean that more than 90% of China's Bitcoin mining capacity is estimated to be shut down, at least for the short term, as regulators in other key mining hubs in China's north and southwest regions have taken similar harsh steps. Some industry players had hoped that regulators in Sichuan, where hydropower is abundant, could take a softer approach. But the latest ban underscores Chinese regulators' determination to curb speculative crypto trading to control financial risks, despite certain benefits to local economies, observers said. The exit window is closing, and we're scrambling to find overseas mines to place our mining devices. A Sichuan-based industry insider who spoke on condition of anonymity told the Global Times on Sunday, adding that several miners have suffered huge losses. We can see from a tweet by Capriolio that half the Bitcoin network has now been shut down by China. Bitcoin hash rate at levels of mid-2020. He shares this image where we can see how the graph has taken a dip. But what does all this mean for Bitcoin? Probably even more extended time for transaction completion and higher fees. It might as well be the time to switch to XRP. Or what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. With that in mind, let's take a look at the technical analysis. Now we're checking out the weekly time frame perspectives, as XRP has shown up with these bearish pullbacks after marking the high at the 1.8 level. I discovered some interesting formational structures XRP has developed here that can lead to determining breakouts ahead in the upcoming times. Therefore, it is necessary to elevate what is possible and what not, and especially to keep patient for the final completion of the formational structure. When this happens, and the formation completes it, can lead to some great developments ahead in the upcoming times. It will be an interesting development. As when looking at my chart, we can watch there how XRP has this major horizontal support marked in blue within the 0.654 level, in which it already bounced several times in past price actions, and now recently already done similarly. Furthermore, XRP has established this massive descending wedge formation which on almost most occasions is a bullish reversal formation that when completed can lead to determining breakouts and continuation movements. A good sign is also that XRP is holding above the 35 EMA, in red here, from where it has the ability to build up, especially combined with the lower boundary of the wedge formation and the horizontal support. This is building a solid base. Taking all these factors into consideration now, XRP is in a structure in which some great potentials lie. In this case, now it is necessary that XRP shows up with the right price actions ahead of the upcoming times. Therefore, to complete the formation finally, XRP needs to break out above the upper boundary of the wedge formation and close there, which will confirm the formation finally and will set up for further continuations to the upside. It has to be noted that this formation can also invalidate when XRP increases bearishness and pushes below the given support. However, as the support structures here are just too strong, this is an unlikely scenario to elevate. As always, remember to trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Tell us what you think in the comment section below and let's have a conversation. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and to click on the subscribe button below. And turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. Thanks again, and we'll look forward to seeing you in our next video.